Good morning, everyone. Hope all is well. It is 1 minute to 3 a.m. my time. That's right. I've been up for an hour and a half. 1:30, I believe I was up this morning. 1:25, something like that. No alarm. It's just my internal clock gets me up at around that time. And that's the way my body has functioned for many, many years now. And I'm trying to shift it out to a more normal schedule, a sleep schedule, and try to kind of sleep till 5 o'clock or so. But it's taken a while. I've been trying that for about 4 weeks now, and still getting up at 2 o'clock latest. But we'll make it happen. Hopefully by the new year. Pardon me. It's now December the 13th, by the way, moving into Christmas time, holiday time. For those who celebrate other holidays, happy holidays to everyone. We're a few seconds here, 45 seconds away from London Open. Watching a number of things this morning. We'll be looking at the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, the Dow, the DAX, the FTSE, gold, maybe some EU on the Forex markets, GU, UCAD, things of that nature. We'll look at all of it. These are interesting days. A lot of whippy action in many of the indices. I know that a lot of traders, certainly scalpers and day traders, have been struggling a lot for the last couple of weeks with the kind of random bipolar or tripolar activity in these markets. And so we're going to try to navigate this together, see what we can do. I found myself having to be very, very patient, waiting for setups. Yesterday I took 1 or 2 trades in the London Open. Excuse me. And none in the New York session until the last, near the end of the day, I was able to nail one and had a really good, really nice trade. So we'll see what the market has to offer us today. The London session is now open. This is the first 30-minute candle. For those of you who watch my videos, you'll know that I typically use a 10-minute chart and a 1-minute chart, and they're side by side, and they look something like this. There's the 10-minute on the left, and there's the 1-minute on the... I was experimenting with a couple of indicators yesterday just for fun. There's the 10-minute on the left, 1 minute on the right. I normally have a 20 EMA on here too, so I'll make it consistent as we watch this together. But there have been so many wicks and unpredictable setups, fake outs and whippiness and choppiness and messiness that I decided to move to the 30-minute time frame for the time being, just to smooth that action out. Excuse me, guys, I just muted you there as I yawned. A little bit sleep deprived today. You might be able to tell I'm struggling with English this morning. But when it comes to my setups, I remain diligent, looking for optimal setups only. That's how I avoid many losing trades, bad entries, weak entries, suboptimal entries, is by being incredibly choosy in terms of the trades I take. And that might mean taking no trades at all throughout the day or for many hours, and then all of a sudden finding something that works for me. What I typically do is wait for the first 10-minute candle. So this is the 10-minute chart here. There we go. To close, and that becomes my opening range. As a general rule, I mix it up sometimes a little bit. This is all about concepts, right? So it'll look like this, but we'll expand, of course, as price action does, as you see there. Including this might be way up here by the time this candle is done. I'll flip us back to the 30-minute for now, so I'm going to watch the 30-minute structure in particular, and we'll take it from there. I'm going to put you on pause so you can avoid the grind here. I'll bring you back if something interesting happens. Here we go, on pause. Okay, guys, we're back, and the first 10 minutes is done in the London Open. And so what you'll see here is this 10-minute candle has become my opening range. You see that there. And now the next 10-minute candle is starting. Now we were looking, of course, at the 30-minute candle. So I'm going to bring us back to the 30-minute chart. And just leave that there. And I may expand to incorporate the entire first 30 minutes as this thing plays out. In the meantime, we'll be watching this. I'm just going to go back to the 10-minute chart here on the SPX, so the S&P. I'm going to do the same thing there. So there's the 10-minute candle up there, but I'm going to expand to include surrounding support and resistance. So that's nearby support. I'll include that as well. There's no use ignoring that because that's absolutely relevant. We'll do the same thing on the DAX. Big one on the DAX. First 10 minutes, I need to include this and that becomes my opening range. Hopefully that makes sense. Go over to the FTSE. Wow, look at that first 10-minute candle. That's a biggie. So it looks like we have a divergence happening here amongst the indices. I'm just going to include this entire thing here. That nearby resistance, and so it'll become part of the opening range. Makes sense? Hopefully it does. And gold, there's no opening range as such. We'll ignore that. Come back to the NASDAQ. This is what we're going to watch now, at least where I'm going to watch, as we move back to the 30-minute chart and keep an eye on all this action. I'm going to leave that resistance there because we still haven't closed above it yet. So it's not has not been made null and void, so to speak, or irrelevant yet. The moment we get a convincing close above it, then that can be shifted up or deleted completely depending on what the structure looks like. Talk to you soon, guys. Putting you back on pause for now. Here we go. All right, guys, we're back and quite a few minutes have passed. We'll see that we're 35 minutes now into the London session, waiting for these candles to form more structure. Give us some ideas here as to what we might do in terms of a trade. Excuse me. 30-minute candle, now breaking down below, trying to break out of this opening range that was set initially by the first 10-minute candle, and including, that's the first 10-minute, and including surrounding support and resistance. Now we could expand all the way to down here, which is not a terrible idea at all. And so what I'm going to do actually is do that right now, just so you can get the idea of what I would be considering. In other words, I wouldn't even be looking for a trade in here. So why not just expand the open range so that your brain, or that my brain, can see that I'm not taking trades until we at least get a break below here. If we do here on the NASDAQ, the space that we have to work with is about 20 points. Nothing wrong with that. If we take 5, 6, 10 points out of there, that can build wealth, right? Because we're sizing based on our values. We don't really care how many points it is within reason. We don't want to trade for 1 or 2 or 3 points because now things like spread and commissions might have an impact depending on what size you're trading, right? But you get beyond 5 into the 6, 7, 8 point range, all of a sudden it becomes meaningful. All right, I'm going to put you back on pause here. I'll bring you back when something material happens. Talk soon. All right, guys, I'm still here, but a lot of time has passed since this London Open. We are now at 4:06 a.m., so an hour and 6 minutes has passed, and we are still very much range-bound here in this opening range on NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 SPX, dead center of the opening range, nothing going on. The DAX, just kind of a mess, broke out of the range, but there's not any opportunity here for me. FTSE, I don't actually trade it, but I track it for my group. Dead center of the range, nothing going on. But gold looks more interesting to me. And so this is what we're going to look at now in this last few minutes of the 10-minute chart. You're looking at the 30-minute chart. We're getting a breakdown here below this short-term support that I've created here, or that I've drawn in. And once the market creates a support, all I can do is draw zones and map this stuff out, right? So I'm going to move to the 10-minute chart to manage this. I'm going to drop this zone down just a little bit here. And we're going to see this now in the next 2 minutes and 46 seconds close. If in fact we close down here at or below this wick that you see here, this bottoming wick, I may be interested in taking a short here on a subsequent break. Going to put you on pause for the next 2 minutes or so. I'll bring you right back. Here we go. Okay guys, this candle closes in 45 seconds. This is a 10-minute candle. Looking for a push down. These are not big moves, by the way. This is a very range-bound market this morning ahead of the CPI news at 8:30. So another 3 hours and 20 minutes until that news comes out. Yeah, no, even longer than that. What am I saying? 4 hours and 20 minutes. 8:30. So there's 22 seconds left in this candle, pushing down now without me for now. But I like the close below the wick, and so I'm looking forward to that. See if that happens here. As has been the case for the last week or two, really no opportunities for me in the indices, and so I'm looking elsewhere for those opportunities. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Now the new candle has begun. Very, very sluggish. Not much happening here. It's kind of frozen, as you can see. A little dash there. Super quiet now in this new candle. Just not budging. Should get a bit of a move now. Oh, there we go. Trading view was kind of frozen. All right, live order now, guys. Live sell stop right here at the bottom. See that? And I'm in this trade now. In this trade now. Looking for a push down. I'm looking for just 10 pips here. 1-to-1. For 1 hour because it is so quiet. I'm not even looking for this thing to complete the entire zone. It may do that. Getting a topping tail now. She's going to make that 12 points, guys, and I'm going to go for 12-point target as well. There we go. So there's the 1-to-1. Looking for that 1-to-1 now. Targeting 93.70. Bear with me. Yep, that's what I got on my platform. Nice clean setup, but it is such a quiet morning that there's no guarantees here at all. Of course, there never are in trading. We're dealing with randomness and uncertainty. I'm going to flip you over to another screen. This is my triple screen. I'm just going to take that 1 minute marker off there because it's not true. This is what I call the 435 screen. It's a 4 hour, 30 minute, and 5 minute. And sometimes I change up the 5 minute to a 3 minute. Sometimes I use a 10 minute over there. But today it's a 435. So 4 hour, 30 minute in the middle, and 5 minute chart on the far right hand side. And you'll see that the 4 minute is now a blue candle, a 4 hour, pardon me, it's a blue candle, which is what we want if we're short, right? So prices had moved up, rejected up here at the top of this 4 hour body right here, right to the, almost to the pip, and then rejected down. And so this is a bearish candle for now. We'd like that bearishness obviously to continue to give us this trade outcome that we're looking for. The 30-minute 2 has now dropped below the 20, and the 20 is rounded over 20 EMA to confirm what we're seeing here on the 4-hour chart. And the 5-minute chart, as you can see, has driven down, pulled back, and tapped the 20 EMA, and now trying to drive down, and that's serving to confirm what we're doing here on this trade. I am going to bring you back now to the main screen. You'll see that this trade is not yet playing out the way we would wish it to, but we're going to be faithful to the system and to our method. Wait for this coin to stop spinning in the air and to land, weighted slightly towards heads, and I've called heads. I'm going to put you on pause now. I'll bring you back if anything happens here. Very quiet this morning. Put you on pause right now. All right, guys, we're back. A few minutes have passed now, and kind of went sideways there for about 10 minutes or so. We're trying to drive down a little bit here. We'll see if we can complete this thing or not. Very illiquid right now. There's not a lot of volume in this market. I think it's the waiting game. There's news coming out at 5 a.m., which is in 36 minutes. And then there's, of course, the big news at 8:30. It's 4:24 right now. Pushing down. Yep, really struggling. All right, I'm going to put you on pause again so you don't have to sit through this, and I'll bring you back. Pause now. New 10-minute candle forming now. You see we have an outside candle here and closed white, which may mean that we're driving up higher here. This could be a stop out. We'll see. Let's watch this together for a bit. All right, I'll pause you again, guys. It's super sluggish now before the 5 a.m. news. Alright guys, I want to show you something. So you see that driving up now? I'm going to bring you back to the triple screen, the 435 screen, right? 4 hour, 30 minutes, and 5 minute chart on the far right hand side. 435. And you'll notice that this trade idea is still intact, right? On the 4 hour. There's still that rejection wick, still a blue candle pushing down. At least has that feel of pushing down. So far that's intact. The 30 minute, we had closed below the dropping 20 EMA, and looks like we're creating an upper wick now, which may in fact drive down. We don't know that for sure. It could be reversing. And on the 5 minute chart, we still had this drive down, the pullback and tapping of the 20 EMA, and then the driving down. We're still trading below the 20 EMA. So the idea is still intact. So I'm not closing this out at any point soon, unless something dramatic happens. The idea, the structural idea, is still in play. Bring you back to the main screen. We're sitting at break even. A nervous trader would take this off now, potentially, and just take the break even and run, because clearly things are very, very sluggish and sloppy. Since my higher level idea still has a sound intellectual framework, I'm sticking with this, even though the longer we wait, the higher the chances are of being stopped out for 1 hour, negative 1 hour, right? I'm okay with that. I'm willing to risk that minus 1 hour based on the setup, given that the higher level idea is still very much intact. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm doing that on purpose, because repetition is the mother of skill. And put you on pause now. I'll bring you back. Couple of minutes have passed. I'm back, trying to push a little bit, but struggling. Really being defended right there. As you can see by those two 10-minute wicks, right? Prices try to drive down, defended, and push back up. Try to drive down, defended, push back up. Now the market's a little reticent to try again. The market being gold participants this morning. 4:35 a.m. New York time. The London session in the stock market has been open for 1 hour and 35 minutes. Why don't we go over and take a look, see what the Nas is doing. Oh, okay, drove up. Interesting. Been so busy watching gold that I didn't see that. So gold could actually drive up now and stop us out. That's fine. Same thing on the SPY. Same thing on Germany. And on UK. So yeah, this could drive gold up. There's been a correlation between stocks and gold lately. Some days. This could be the one. So that does change things. Yeah, so that could stop us out, and I'll show you here on the Four Sisters. NASDAQ, Dow, S&P, and DAX all trading above the London Open. See that London Open right there? 1, 2, 3, 4, all pushing up. Watch this together for a minute. it's a synchronous movement. So all four of these market participants are in sync. They are all feeling bullish right now for whatever reason, and that's fine. We're just going to count on gold all of a sudden decoupling from the stock market and driving down. Let's go back to it and take a look. Boom. Watching closely now. Needs to break and close below this wick that you see here. That was the final rejection, the ultimate rejection. Patience. It can be difficult for many traders to be patient in this kind of a scenario. Especially when watching this happen on a different screen, this driving up. Get back to gold. Lots of work to be done still here. Patiently. Just trusting. There could be a case for bringing our stop down to above these wicks, considering that those wicks have rejected. This is a new 10-minute candle now. This could be the determining candle, the decider, the great decider. Patience. So now, if stocks pull back, we may be able to get some movement here. And they're doing that right now. I'll show it to you. Do that, just a little pullback, 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 pullback on the Four Sisters. We need more than that to support this trade. There we go. A bit more. Watching now. Need to break and close below that wick that you see right there. Yeah, rejected again. Okay, so the relationship between stocks and gold is a little loose this morning, to say the least. I'll bring you back to the Four Sisters. You'll see we're getting that nice pullback. That retracement after that impulse wave, and gold is basically frozen, doing nothing, just sitting there like that. That's legit, by the way. I'm looking at it on my interactive brokers, and it's the same thing. It's not because TradingView is frozen, although that does happen sometimes. It's just a dead gold market this morning. Patience. Take a look at stocks. See that pullback on all of them? Maybe supportive here. Patience. Here it comes. Trusting. Stop the break even. There's no risk on this trade now. And done. Nice trade, guys. A nice 1 hour trade, right? And 12 pips on a very sluggish morning. Took a long time. This video is over 30 minutes long, 33 minutes. I want to thank you for your patience. The trade was much longer, actually, because I kept putting it on pause. But thank you for being with me on this Tuesday morning. We'll see you a bit later if there are any other setups. And certainly in New York and the pre-New York for the big news at 8:30. Talk soon, guys. Thanks again. Appreciate the support. Bye-bye now.